I don't mind. You can go ahead and do some yoga, provided you don't have any other schedule. And if you start to get bored, feel free to start playing with your yoga and your body in the class. But we are surely meeting at 6:30 with a lot of different games and enthusiasm. So join me at 6:30. And yes, all mothers and women here, we are going to get started today with some nice basic foundation of yoga. So I'll be happy if you want to keep your videos on so I can just see few of your movements and how things are going. If your bandwidth permits you, you don't have to worry about it. You may like to switch on your videos if you like. Okay, then. Usually, yes, Avni, you have a question? You have to unmute yourself. Not able to? Let me just check.
So yes, Mataji, I had a question that so on 6:30, what was the time it will go on?
6:30 is the time. You already answered the question actually.
6:30 it will finish or start?
No, it will start at 6:30 for all of kids.
But at 7:15 I have my other class. So what time will it go?
It'll go on till 7:30. You can sign off if you want, no problem. Right?
Yeah, okay, Mataji.
Okay, Abhi, thank you. You can mute yourself again. Okay, so let's begin, everybody. We're going to start with some nice grounding practice where we want to come to a present moment. I know busy mothers, busy ladies, then your mind, already you are in front of me, but I'm sure you're multitasking in the mind, you're planning something, maybe the next menu for dinner, or maybe thinking around the mess in the house that you see as you sat in front of the screen. Whatever it is, I'm sure we always multitask. So that is the reason we need to do some grounding. We need to stop overthinking and just come to the present moment right now to relax ourselves. So for that, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. You can sit comfortably in whatever way you are. If you are on the chair, preferably if you have some chatai, chadar, yoga mat, try to take something under you if that's not too much for today. If you don't have anything, then take whatever chadar you have around you. Just take something to preserve the energy that will be generating. We don't want it to go to waste. I can just see few of you sitting on the like a flooring. So try to have something under you. Fantastic. Okay. So if you want to switch on your videos, you can again. At least today it's optional, but later on, for those who are signing up for the whole workshop, it's not optional. You have to keep your videos on so that I can check on you, right? So let's begin. You can today sit in any comfortable position of your choice. Gradually, we will be learning lots of meditative asanas and how to sit also. We're going to systematically do things. But for now, I'm not going to bother you much for today. So sit comfortably in any pose of your choice. Let's take up this beautiful mudra. I know most of us know this mudra, right? Dhyana mudra. But today we will change this mudra. We need always more energy and prana, isn't it, for our body and to function throughout the day. So we will be doing prana mudra. So whenever possible, try to inculcate this mudra in your daily practice. If you are the one who usually feel tired by not even the end of the day, but half of the day, you feel you're tired, you lack energy, enthusiasm to go forward in the day, this mudra is for you, this mudra is for all of us. So how to do this mudra? You have to join tips of 3 fingers together. So we have to join the tip of our thumb, ring finger, and small finger together. So you can join, right? The way we keep Jnana Mudra on our lap, same way, palms facing up, you can use this Prana Mudra anytime. The ideal time is if you can somehow the other manage it to do it for 15 minutes, that is really good. So try to use this mudra for at least minimum. Maximum is up to you, but minimum 15 minutes, try to take this mudra. It really helps in increasing the energy in the body. Okay. I can also see my co-teacher, my friend Ria on the screen. So welcome Ria. She's also going to be part of our Women Wellness, the whole modules where she will be playing a major role. You might as well see her more doing things than me sometimes. So welcome Ria. Thank you for joining in. So let's get started. Close your eyes. I want you all to bring your awareness in now, the present moment. Mind is wandering like a butterfly everywhere, going here and there. So let's bring it, every time it wanders, bring it back on our breath. Just observe the rhythmic flow of your breath flowing in and out. You don't have to change any pattern of your breath now. Let it be normal and natural as it is. Just have to observe your natural breath. See how it feels to keep your awareness on your breath. Experience the centering here. When you're trying to avoid any thoughts, and every time any thought comes, you bring it back on your breath. Observe every tiny detail about your breathing as if you've never ever felt your breath before. What is the temperature of it? What is the length of it? Is the air warm or cool when you inhale and exhale? Try to experience every small thing about your special breath. Now quickly take your awareness to all the movements happening along with your breath. See the movement of your chest, abdomen. In the whole process, try to keep your spine straight and shoulders relaxed throughout the practice. And now we will chant 3 rounds of Omkar together. Before every Omkar, you can take a breath in. Along with exhalation, we chant Omkar. Let's begin together. And now we're going to rub our palms together. Create some nice warmth between your palms, the prana energy. Bring the warmth of your palms on your face. You can cup your eyes. And gently bring your hands down. Okay, fantastic. Welcome all the ladies to this class today. So first few minutes, we are going to quickly discuss the basics of yoga since it's a starting point today. Maybe most of you are already yoga practitioner, enthusiast. You already know a few things, but it's my duty again to, inform you a few basics about the meal timings and some do's and don'ts so that your practice benefits you more. Sometimes we end up doing various practices, but we don't see the results of it. Have you experienced that before? Maybe most of us. What is the reason behind it? We don't know the proper do's and don'ts, and we are not creating the favorable atmosphere for ourselves in that practice. So we may end up giving up then that, I've been doing, but I don't see any difference. So that is the reason some foundation information is really, really important. So the first thing, the most basic thing is about the meal timings, right? So since it's an evening time, it's important to note down that try to have your meals at least 3 to 4 hours early. before the class. So there should be a gap of minimum 3 and maximum 4 is ideal, to be honest. All this while, all the scriptures were saying 3.5 or 2.5 hours gap. But recently, the research has been saying that it takes 4 hours for the food to actually get down from the stomach. So respecting that detail which has come from the science recently, try to keep at least 3 to 4 hours of gap between your meals. Okay. So if you do in the morning and if it's your self practice, you're doing it on your own, then it's not a problem at all. Then most of the times by default in the mornings, our stomach is empty. So it's a perfect thing then to practice early in the morning. However, since a part of a workshop, we are doing it in the evening. So make sure you at least have your meals. If you feel thirsty, there's no harm in drinking some liquid, some juice, some herbal tea, half an hour ago, also before the class, because it'll be a huge gap sometimes. You might end up feeling empty. And what about after the class? So after you finish your practice, you can eat or drink something after half an hour, because anyways, we end with some relaxation. That time is considered as non-yoga, as in we are not moving much, plus half an hour additional, then you can drink and eat something, doesn't matter. Okay, so this was about the food. Second is about when to do yoga, when not to do, who can do. So the common answer is everyone can do yoga, irrespective of what healing disorders you're going through, or what are your physical conditions, your age, your body size, your height, your weight, doesn't matter. Only thing is we should be wise enough to respect and listen to our body and seek for some variations if needed sometimes, which is of course I'm going to give you for each one of you. If I see, that's why I'm requesting you to put your camera on. If I see someone struggling, then I can definitely offer some variation to that. So all of us can do yoga. But when should we take a break? I would say there's no need to take a break, but we can do some different simple stretchings during menstruation. And there are few practices to be completely avoided, like inversions, especially, and anything that brings very strong compression to your abdominal region during those days. So we are not skipping. I would not recommend you to take a complete break, because what I see is during menstruation is the time we really need yoga the most. Because of the hormonal imbalances, the mood swings are very high, back pain is there, leg ache, anything. I mean, everybody goes through different symptoms. So to regulate all these things and manage this, it's nice to go through some simple breath work, some stretching to feel nice, in fact, during that time too. So complete break is something I would not recommend, but definitely few postures we should not be doing. Okay. And what about your clothing? So try to wear something comfortable, anything is fine. I would say a nice breathable fabric is recommended, so that, because when we do some breathing practices, it should feel nice. It should not feel like suffocation, and it should not be very tight. It should be comfortable. If it's very tight, then you may not feel like breathing properly during your movements, and also different breath work. So loose, comfortable, good fabric, breathable fabric clothing is fantastic. Always use a mat. Anything. I mean, I'm not saying rubber yoga mat, anything. Use a mat under you, because we are generating lot of prana in the body during the practice, and the prana has ability to get discharged through the extremities of the body, like fingertips, head, or feet. This is where our prana goes to waste most of the time. So we don't want our energy that we are already have inside of us, and whatever we try to generate through the practice, to go to the waste. So we want you to be sitting on some mat, which will again keep the loop of the energy inside of you. Okay, because we are not just doing yoga for physical health, but as you go deeper, as many of you must have experienced, yoga is also going to definitely help you, when you are consistent with it, on your emotional management and mental health as well. How this happens, we are going to see that too. Many of us do not correlate that I am moving my body, how is going to make my mind better or emotions better. But gradually, as some tips and tricks are going to come on your way while you practice, you will realize that how it is helping you there as well, right? That is some simple, easy tips for now. As we progress in our workshop, many things are going to get bombarded on you as far as theory is concerned. Many things are coming up. But for today's session, just in case if you have your meals late or if you've been menstruating, you can still do everything that we are doing today because it's going to be a very basic class today, being first day of our workshop and an introductory session for many of you have just joined today. So it is extremely important that we warm up our bodies. I'm sorry, somebody, Tunga Vidya Mataji, you want to say something? You can also type if you like. It will be a little difficult for me to manually unmute one by one. If it's not something urgent, I'll be happy to address the doubts and questions at the end of the session. We'll have a special Q&A. If it's something really urgent, you please go ahead and type it and I can address it, right? So if anybody has any doubts, you can write down. Unless and until it's something really urgent, please go ahead and type and let me know what it is. Okay. So this was about the basic information I wanted to give you today. Today we are doing some basic stretchings. I can also call it as a pre-yoga warm-ups, pre-asana warm-ups. Warm-ups are really important. Most of us, we directly are very enthusiastic. Okay, Mataji, do you want me to unmute or what? You please type something so we can go without any distraction, or you can please type. Just give me a minute. Mataji has something urgent, looks like. Just go and unmute her. Yes, Mataji, I've unmuted you. Please go ahead. Tunga Vidya Mataji, you've been typing something. Do you want to say something? Okay, then let's go ahead. Okay, so asanas, when we directly jump into it, can cause some injuries. Yes, Mataji, you can speak to Priya Chaitanya Prabhu about all these things. And I think you've already spoken to him. So don't worry about this. You can just call him and let him know about it, right? Okay. And any other questions? I think it's nice to keep it at the end of the class. So we have undistracted flow for the entire class. Okay. So sometimes we can end up injuring ourselves or feeling extremely uncomfortable. This is the reason why most of us stop the practice after a few days. We are very enthusiastic to follow some yogic lifestyle, exercise regularly, but the way we take it forward is sometimes wrong. And that is the reason we may end up completely quitting the practice because there's a lot of ache and pain happens and we don't know the further route to it. Now, what do we again do? So that is the reason we always start. We set the foundation very right. The way we address each muscles and joint in the body so that there are least chances of feeling any injury or not feeling comfortable in any asana. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to set our foundation by doing some pre-asana preparatory movements like warm-ups and few couple of important asanas which are more of a stretching in nature so that we get our muscles ready for the further asana practice. And gradually as our module progresses, we're going to work on a targeted things like I would be very happy then to know personally from each one of you about your conditions. First 4 sessions are going to be generic in nature, which are safe for all, provided I'll keep on giving contraindications. Then gradually we're going to go into more like hormonal imbalances issues, therapeutic issues. Like if you want to treat some disorder through yoga practices, then you'll get some personalized sequence. We'll work on that. We're going to also work on skin care through yoga. Any issues that you've been having about your skin or etc. We're going to discuss that as well gradually as we progress. But first, it's important to set the foundation. It is what we're going to go for the next four sessions. Okay. So let's get started now. I hope you all have your yoga mats. And the first few stretchings are really, really simple. I'm going to go back to my mat. So Ria, you can also do along with me today. It's very simple. So I'll end up talking as well and we can do it together too, right? Gradually as we progress, I'll need more of your help so that I can talk and they can see you, right? So let's, everyone, you can remain seated in the same position as you are in. We're going to start with simple sitting stretchings today, safe for all. If anybody here is having any spondylitis issue, back pain, etc., it's completely fine. Yeah. Yes, Tunga Vidya Mataji, we got it. I'll speak to Priya Chaitanya Prabhu. Okay. So let's get into the practice. So sit comfortably and get your arms to the sides with palms facing up towards the ceiling. Something very important that I have to now share with you since we are about to start the movement is when you are doing the movement, make sure you are completely present with it, right? What I mean is try to observe every awareness on every part, how it feels to move this way and that way. So keep your focus on that and try to incorporate correct breathing pattern. If that's too much for you today on day one, you can just at least nicely breathe in and breathe out and do not hold your breath. Okay, so let's do very mindful practice. So bring your arms to the sides with palms facing up. Today we're going to go very gentle and slow, so do not hurry up. Now very slowly with inhalation, as you start to breathe in, you start raising your arms up from the sides. Now interlock your hands together. Right? Now turn your palms up towards the ceiling and inhaling, give a nice long stretch to the whole body. As if you're lifting your body up. Very nice. Now as you exhale, bring your palms on top of the head. You can also breathe out through your mouth. Very nice. Now inhale, stretch. And exhale, bring your palms on top of the head. Now again, inhaling, give a nice long stretch to the whole body. Little more longer, stretch up nicely, releasing all the tiredness and tension out. Very nice. And now breathe out, release your hands again from the sides. Feel the nice chest opening. Very nice. Good. This movement that I'm showing you, they really work very good on your back pain management, frozen shoulders, and anybody with any respiratory disorders, asthma, shallow breathing, because we are doing opening the chest and breathing properly. So they are really helpful in those conditions as well. Okay, let's go for movement number 2 now. So for this, we're going to bring our arms in the front, parallel to each other with palms facing up towards the ceiling. And now inhaling, raising the arms up just like before, but very slowly. Don't hurry up. Let's go slow. Try to keep your arms straight in elbows if possible. Take your arms up slowly. Keep your complete focus on all the sensations. Now interlace your hands together again. Now inhaling, give a nice long stretch to the whole body. Just like before. And exhaling, relax. Bring your palms on top of the head as if releasing all the tiredness and stiffness out from your spine. Once more, inhaling, give a nice long stretch to the whole body. And exhale, relax. Once more, inhale, give a nice long stretch, stretch. Exhale, now release your arms again, keeping your arms parallel to each other, palms facing up. As you breathe out, bring them down. So what happens when you finish breathing out in this movement? You again start breathing naturally. Don't have to hold your breath. Very nice. Relax your shoulders, roll them if you feel any tension there. So never than before. Now, most of the times you are more on the screen. For all this, see, even for yoga, we have to fix our eyes on the screen and sit in a particular way. So things have changed and we have to take maximum care of our two things. Our immunity, of course, is at the prime role right now. So we're going to do some different breathing practices to avoid ourselves from getting infections. And also second thing is taking care of our back, because most of the things are online now. The load of work has come online. So these practices are really important. Let's go for movement number 3 now. Combination of 1 and 2 that we just did. Again, you bring your arms to the sides with palms facing up. And of course, try to sit straight throughout the practice. That is really, really important. And now from here, again, breathe in. And whenever you finish your inhalation, you start breathing naturally. Raising your arms up. Feel the nice chest opening. Now this time we're going to make a cross with our hands up. So make a cross. You can take any arm forward and any arm back because we're going to do another round in which we'll switch over. Okay? Maintain the same cross now and bring this cross position on your abdomen. Keep your awareness on all the active sensations. Relax your shoulders here if they're tense. This is a sign of a tense shoulder when they're up. Every time try to bring them down and relax. Stay here. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Take a deep breath in and breathe out completely. Once more, take a deep breath in. Try to relax. And as you breathe out, release any tiredness and tension that you're holding in any body part. Once more, take a deep breath in and exhale, relax. Very nice. Maintaining the same cross now. Just lift up the cross once more, like how we got it up. So breathe in and bring it up. And now very nicely, start stretching and opening your arms from the sides. Keep your arms straight. Feel the chest opening. When you come to the shoulder line, try to open your chest more. Bring your shoulder blades closer. And then bring your hands down. Very nice. Good. We'll do one more round of this just to change the crossing of our hands. Okay. So let's start again. Breathe in and start raising your arms up. Feel the nice chest opening. And now you can change the intersecting. Whichever arm was behind will now come in the front. Maintain the same cross. Inhale and now exhale. Breathe out and start bringing the position of your arms cross on the belly. You can slightly fold your arms here. You need to. Again, relax your shoulders. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Release any tension from your shoulder and neck. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out completely. Complete awareness on the present moment. Again, inhale deeply. And exhale. Again, inhale deeply. And exhale. Very nice. Now again, maintain the same cross position. Lift up your arms. And releasing your arms from the sides. Very nice. Feel a nice chest opening. Very fantastic. Okay. We'll go for the next shoulder mobility movement. Very good for those who always have pain in the upper back, shoulder, and have frozen shoulder conditions. So it's very good for them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to lock our fingers together like this. And we're going to place our palms above our neck, somewhere where most of us tie a regular low ponytail. Okay, somewhere, just to give you an idea. Or maybe I can change my angle to show you how it goes over here. Okay. And from here, we're going to close and open. So anybody with cervical spondylitis, you avoid putting your chin to the chest. You don't look forward. Others, we all can go all the way down with our chin and bring our elbows closer. There's no challenge here that you have to touch your elbows. You can bring them as close as possible as per your mobility. So close. This you do while breathing out. Inhaling now, open. So what we are doing here, opening the chest and visualize me standing right behind you and pulling your elbows behind. So there should be this action where the shoulder blades are coming together. And you can slightly look forward in front of you and up. Now, very good, everyone. Now, exhale, close. Tuck your chin to the chest. Slightly round your back. Inhaling, open. Exhale, close. Inhaling, open. Once more, exhale, close. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, close. And inhaling, open. Very nice. And slowly bring your hands down. Good. Very nice. So most of the times we have pain and aches in the back, especially, or anywhere I would say, is because of three reasons. We have in our lifespan overused that muscle, or we have underused that muscle. We are not just using that part. Or the third reason can be misuse. Like the way we stand, way we sit, we are misusing the muscles. These are the only common bottom line three reasons that why we have pains and aches in the body. So the yoga class and the stretchings and asanas will help us to use all the muscles in a systematic way, give rest to those which are being overused or give some nice massage to them, give some movement to the underused and bring correction to the misused one. Okay. So now the next movement is simple side stretching, because we want to really open our all the muscle chain for next asanas in upcoming days. So let's go for the nice side stretch now in the same sitting position. So now here, we're going to stretch our left arm up from the sides very nicely. Bring it up and try to bring your bicep and ear close to each other. Lengthen your spine here. I want you all to go a little tall, as if you have to catch some object with the left hand, so that you should feel the length of your spine. You should feel elongated from the spine. Go up slightly more, all of you. Very good. And now you can shift your weight to the right side with the right hand. Slide it as much as you can, ideally till your elbow touches. If that doesn't happen, you don't have to worry, it's okay. And take a nice bend to the right side. I'm touching my elbow. If you can do that, you can try it. If not, don't worry. Try to keep your left arm straight, but you don't have to force yourself on day one. That's okay. Keep breathing. Feel the stretch on the left side, compression on the right side. Very good. Now inhaling, come back to the center. Again, lengthen. And exhaling, palms facing down, bring your arms down from the sides. Very nice. Let's swap over to the other side. Bring your right arm up, palms facing up. Now lengthen your right side. Imagine you are now grabbing some object with your right hand up. Go up a little more, go tall. Very good. And then slowly, now bend to your left side, slide your left forearm down. Try to keep your chest open. Make sure you're not going forward too much. Then that's not a side stretch. Try to go in the same line to the side. Very good, everyone. Stay here for a few breaths. You can also look up if your neck allows you. If you have no discomfort, you try to look up at the ceiling. Now inhaling, raising your right arm up again. Very nice. And exhaling, lower down your right arm back. Very nice. Now from here, we will go into the most important easy practice. There are various twist asanas that I'm going to teach you as we progress in our modules. But for today, the easiest twist. Why twist now? For those who have been doing yoga or don't know much about yoga, please, if you're a beginner, try to incorporate twist in your daily lives. Because what happens is we hold a lot of tension in our back and we don't know how to release it. And have you seen the natural response of our body? At least I feel it, that whenever there is a stiffness or tiredness in the back, by default, we end up doing this. Right? Like you want to do something that releases the tension out. So if we do it systematically in the yoga class, it's wonderful. So I'm going to teach you one easy twist in the same cross-leg position. Okay, by the way, by now, if anybody is feeling a lot of pain just by sitting, I know I can understand being first session. If you want to anytime stretch your legs in the front, shake them, and come back to the sitting pose, it's also fine. Okay, so you can do that anytime if you need to. So let's go for the easy twist. I'm going to change my angle to show you the placement of the hands properly for this. So please sit straight throughout. Now we're going to raise our left arm up just like before in the previous practice we did. Lengthen the left side nicely. Okay, now we're going to place our left palm on the right knee. Okay, and now we're going to look over the right shoulder, turn our head back, and place our right hand in such a way on the ground, on the mat, so that we can look over the right shoulder, open the chest more. Try to maintain the length of the spine. Just make sure that you're not falling onto the right hand and you're not putting your weight on the right hand. Maintain the gravity and straight spine. You just have to twist and feel the nice lateral twist your spine feels. It's important to do proper and longer exhalation when we are in twist pose. So try to exhale nicely. Very nice. And slowly roll your head back again to the front and relax. Very nice. Twisting is really, really important. So try to incorporate this in your regular practice in class. Now, let's swap it over to the other side. Raise your right arm up. Now, place your right palm on the left knee and look over the left shoulder. Place your left palm in such a way firmly. Again, please look on the screen here once just to avoid this common mistake. What happens most of the time? We end up putting the arm very far and put the weight over there. So this is not what we want. We want the spine, hips in one line. And then you place your palms behind your hips somewhere. And then you go. Okay, so let's do it. Look over, stay here, focus on longer exhalations while maintaining your twist. And slowly release the posture. Very nice. Okay, let's go for one popular warm-up. I'm sure most of your ears will get hooked up to this one now. It's a weight loss warm-up. Yeah, happy. I can see some smile there. Belly especially works on the belly region, but only if you do it consistently along with other lifestyle changes, but really works well. It is called as chakki chalan, the meal grinding, you know. So, pehle ke zamane mein women used to do it, right, at home, naturally doing all these actions. But now we end up paying to some workshops, you know, to get this done. So let's go for this. Anybody with any hip joint injury or any strong hip pain, just see. Go slow and check how you feel. If it feels uncomfortable, avoid it. Another option is you can keep some pillow under your hips and do it. But go slowly and see how your hip feel if you have any previous history of hip injury. Now for this one, we have to take a distance between both of our legs. Okay, as much as comfortable. Gradually, I'll work on the alignment of each asana, but for now, we're just warming up, so it's okay. No much instructions today. Okay. Now you have to lock your hands together, interlacing your fingers. Okay. Now we're going to do 5 rounds on each side. Okay. We're going to start. Go forward to the left side now, to your left side. Now go forward all the way, then go to the right foot and then come back. You don't have to sleep all the way. You don't have to go all the way back, but try to go as much as you can. Then again, going to the left, forward, right, and back. Left, forward, right, and back. Okay, now stop. Now let's put the breathing into the place while doing this. So exhaling, you are going forward, and inhaling, you are coming back. Exhaling forward and inhaling back. Very good. Now let's swap over to the other side. Okay, from right to left and back. So exhaling forward, left, inhaling back. Exhaling to the right, forward, left, inhaling back. And continue on your own for 3 more rounds. Use your full range of motion, no shortcuts. If you just go like, you know, don't go forward properly, then obviously there is no weight loss or fat loss at the belly region that you'll experience. At any point today, if you have any discomfort, please do not push yourself. It's just day one. Okay, relax. Very good. That was just a sample. There are many workouts and pre asana practices like this to work on belly, shoulders, etc. Okay, let's go for one important movement for the hips now. Apart from a warm up, this practice is very popular for its benefit to the women's health, especially to reproductive organs, any issues related to menstruation, any other reproductive health issues. This practice is really good for strengthening the pelvic floor area. I'm sure most of us already are familiar with this practice. It's called as butterfly Titli Asana. However, just one contraindication here. If anybody has any severe knee issues, then this practice is not advisable. Regular gentle knee pain here and there, I'm sure it's okay. But any severe knee pain, any surgery recently, try to avoid this practice or do few rounds and see how you feel. For this practice now, we're going to join the soles of our legs together, right? What is the distance between your now heels and the groin area? It's somewhere around 2.5 fists. So you can measure it like this. So you can keep your fist to your groin area, then another, and around 2.5 fist distance is a good distance. Now you can grab your toes. Try to keep your back straight, chest open, shoulders relaxed. Okay, we'll just start with one side flapping first. Just start with left. Of course, the right will slightly move, that's okay, but our focus is more on the left side. If you're struggling somewhere here, don't worry, with regular practice, hip opening is going to happen. You can compare your day one and last day of the workshop when we do this regularly. So remember your state today. Okay, when you're done with the left now, let's relax the left side and focus more on the right. Okay, very nice. Now let's focus on both. Let's start flapping both the knees. This one practice advisable in all the phases of women's life, whether it's during the menstruation phase, pregnancy phase. Even during pregnancy, this is highly recommended throughout the 9 months, especially for smooth labor and strengthening of the pelvic floor. Also during menopause, hormonal imbalances, anything to do with the less blood flow to the uterus region, this practice is really wonderful for all the girls and females out there. Okay, relax. Let's challenge ourselves in butterfly today a little bit. Okay, I know you're going to love this one. So now from here, you don't have to flap anymore. Try to just go slightly forward, maintaining the same position. Walk with your hands slightly forward. And first you try to bring your all fingers on the ground if possible. If you're easily able to do it, you're a fantastic yogini. Go all the way and bring your elbows down. Come on, keep trying. All I want is you should feel some intensified stretch on your inner groin. I'm sure all of you are feeling it. And if you feel more comfortable, go all the way down and rest your head on your feet. You can do your self dandvat here if you like. So I'm going to come and quickly see all of you, how you do your dandvats to yourself or to someone next to you around. Okay. Don't have to do it purposely. Just try it out. Very good. So you see, did you all get more stretch to the inner groin area? Yes? Okay. Very nice. Please release. Okay. Good job, everyone. Okay. So now we'll move to the next part today of breathing now. So this is just little one set of warm-ups. We're going to add up many more in our upcoming sessions. So let's go today for the breathing part. Anybody needs Shavasana? I have not taken that intense class, right? So I'm hoping that none of you are super tired and need Shavasana, right? So we can go ahead and do some breathing practice. So again, just like any other asana, why we have to also work on some pre-breathing practices. So we're going to also set the foundation right. Most of the people who come back to me with some questions saying that I do this pranayam, nowadays everything is available on YouTube very easily. So it's not that information and knowledge is very easily accessible. So people start following it, but sometimes when we see this cut paste videos what happens is we don't know the background about it. We don't know the preparation, whether it's right for us or not. So this is where I'm going to put some light today, that I get many questions sometimes that I am doing this many rounds of Kapalbhati, this practice, that practice, but I feel like this, I don't feel like this, or I don't get the benefits. So what is happening? So the thing is, we have not got our basics right. We have not corrected certain things in our breath, and that is the reason we may not get the proper benefits of the practice. So today, on the first day itself, and in the next few hours, when you spend some time before we meet tomorrow, you have to work on correcting your breathing first. Okay. So just today, all we are going to do is not learn some high-five pranayam so early. We're going to learn all of them, most of them very soon, but not today. Today, we're going to work on the basic. Even if your breath is right, that's okay. The practice is still going to give you maximum benefits, and we're going to improve the gaseous exchange. So it's anyways beneficial for anyone whose breath is also going proper. So what do I mean by correcting the breath? Most of the times, due to modern lifestyle, closed environment, pollution, sedentary life, too much of outburst, emotional outburst, our breath has taken a toll on us. The way we breathe is completely different. So I can give you some examples now. You can see it for yourself and see if you can relate to it. Most of us can have, I can say, shallow breathing. What is shallow breathing? Just here, not even going fully to the lungs or the lower lobes. See, you must have all seen, it's not an anatomy class, but I'm sure most of you have, you can visualize the shape of the lungs, right? So we have upper lobe and lower lobe also, right, for the lungs. But what does shallow breather do? Breathing only till here. So what, the air is not even going inside to get purified and released. Nothing is like that happening. So shallow breathing people, common complaint, fatigue, less energy, and related to that, various disorders can follow them, right? Then another can feel reverse breathing. What is reverse breathing now? Reverse breather is a person who, when inhales, the abdomen goes inside. So you can check also for yourself how you be. You must have never seen that before. If you, this is the first class in your life of pranayam, then maybe you've never even seen your breathing so nicely. So sometimes what happens with reverse breathing person, you breathe in. So just check now what happens to your abdomen. You don't have to be technically right as per what I said. Just check your condition. What happens? You don't have to even force yourself right now to do the right one. Just see how your naturally breathing is. It should be like a balloon, basically. What happens to the balloon when we fill the air? Right? Fulega na balloon. That's what should happen to our belly as well. And what happens when we breathe out? Same, the reverse pattern. But when we are doing a reverse breathing, the abdomen, instead of coming out, it will go inside. So this is a reverse breathing pattern. Okay. Third person can be somebody who is a person who has a very poor exhalation. Poor exhalation means not breathing out properly. श्वास अंदर आ जाता है अच्छा, but when it comes to breathing out, it's not nice. So it's like half or khatam ho gaya, bas now I can't breathe out more, I'm done. This can also be a feeling that many of you can have. What happens because of this now? What does happen with exhalation? देखो, physiologically तो हम सबको पता है कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बाहर जाता है, which means the cleansing does not happen properly. When you are not breathing out properly, the carbon dioxide is not coming out properly. There are other various, what to speak of, this is one external reason, but our inhalation and exhalation is so much connected to our different functions of our nervous system also. So wahan pe bhi disturbed ho raha hai if we are not exhaling properly. So that is one thing. And another type of a fourth type of a wrong breathing is very modern. It's something where we try to suck our abdomen in order to look thin. When especially where we are at work, office, in social gathering, maybe kitty party. I don't know if you go in all these places. Here I stay in a village. We don't have all this to go. But you see, when what happens is, for a fashion or just so that people should not check my belly, I wear a dress in such a way, agar usme thoda pet dikh raha hai, so what I'll do is, I'll suck my belly in. So many of you are laughing. Huh? I'm catching you on the screen here. So what do we do for time being? We suck the belly, or we feel we are under that wrong impression that मैं जब ऐसा regularly करूँगी so my belly will go in. But trust me, it is harming your breathing more, harming your back all the more. The way this arch comes to the back when we suck the belly in a wrong way without. So यहाँ पे आपका जो diaphragm, the breathing muscle होता है chest के नीचे, that goes to toss. Its function goes to toss when we suck the belly. So your job now is to check out this in your free time till tomorrow we meet, if you're joining in for the session, right? So if you meet me tomorrow, then we are going to work on correcting. Of course, I'm going to tell you now also how to correct it. But after that, you're going to contemplate that how usually my breath pattern is. Okay. So what is the self-correction technique of your breath now? How do you correct your breath? Forget it. कैसा भी होगा, इनमें से दोनों भी होगा या सब four के four आपको applicable भी हो सकते हैं शायद. But let's work on correcting it. So the self-correction technique is in the lying down position. It's very simple and easy. All you have to do is just lie down on your back. If you have any back pain, you can fold your legs in knees. If you don't have any back pain, just lie down in simple Shavasana. Shavasana pata hai sabko? Yes? Most of the look. Huh? Shavasana, yes? Say thumbs up if you know Shavasana. Okay, I'm so happy, Ranita, on you. That you're the only one who said no. Because koi yoga kare na kare, Shavasana sabko pata hai. Somehow, you know, that happens to be like yoga tum regular kare na karo, but Shavasana, kyunki sona hai na Shavasana mein. So everybody knows it. So I'm so happy that at least somebody is there who is genuinely saying no, that I don't know Shavasana. Thank you for changing my expectation, because mostly in all the classes, everybody says mundi hilate. Yes, Shavasana to humko pata hai. But if I ask them, do you do yoga regularly? Nahi, itna nahi ho pata hai. So, okay, never mind. Of course, I'm going to demonstrate Shavasana as well, although people know it, but Shavasana is also not just lying down. There's a way of lying down. So Shavasana is lying down on the mat. And then we're going to bring our one hand slightly, very gently, we're going to put it on the belly, abdomen area में. और फिर हमको purposely अभी थोड़ा सा अपना अगर आदत नहीं है, then still we have to try to change. We have to breathe in and bring our belly up. And then breathe out, bring the belly down. Okay. So ऐसा ये करते करते ऐसा नहीं कि हमें दिन भर हमको we have to be conscious कि how am I breathing? No. Few minutes on the mat, if you spend every day in this pattern, do some deep breathing every day like this, and do your pranayam, gradually your breath will correct itself. You don't have to be self-conscious throughout the day, panicking that how am I breathing? That's very impractical. It's not going to be. So I'm going to quickly show you now the Shavasana position. Okay. So you have to lie down on your mat. So I'm going to also show you if anybody has a back pain issues, what can be done. I don't have a pillow handy right now, unfortunately, but if anybody has a back pain, आपको यहाँ पे थोड़ा pillow या bolster रहेगा ना round sofa पे ऐसा घर पे, so keep that under it. Imagine I have it, तो आपको knees के नीचे रख देना है तकिया. Then that will be good. Or you can just keep your legs folded with knees pointing up, थोड़ा distance. या तो फिर what is typical Shavasana? Shavasana is just keep your legs straight, apart. Mat width apart तो होना ही चाहिए, अच्छा distance. Arms also away. ये armpit और chest close नहीं करना है, open. And keep your head at the center. This is Shavasana. From here, bring your one palm on the belly and breathe in. Let the belly come out like a balloon. Breathe out. Press the belly down. Okay? Consciously, we have to do it to get it correct. Okay? So all of you can go on your back now, if you have a facility to do so. Sitting में भी ये कर सकते हैं, but to be honest, self-correcting technique is easier when we lie down on the back. Okay? So, and I'm sure everybody loves and look forward for Shavasana anyways. वहीं से I will give you a nice relaxation today, छोटा सा, from there, and then you can come up with my, when I say Omkar, Om, that is your alarm after this. So you have to get up again. So now you please lie down. I'm going to guide you in your breathing technique. Choose your way of breathing. Choose your way of Shavasana, whether you want to fold your breath, fold your leg, whatever you feel comfortable, you can do that. Okay, everybody be very comfortable. Now you all just focus on your natural breath. See how the breath is going in and out. Natural breaths, no changing right now, anything. And now you're going to place your one palm on your belly if you haven't placed yet. Okay, now we will try to breathe in and breathe out in a systematic way. Imagine that your belly is like a balloon. You can visualize any color of your choice or what balloon you want. Maybe let's do it something like a kids yoga now. Visualize the balloon like a belly. So as you fill in the air, the balloon has to rise up, right? And as you breathe out, the belly is going to again go down, fall flat. So let's start together if possible. Exhale completely. Inhale, abdomen out. Exhale, abdomen down. 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 Relax. Okay, now release your hands to the side. Back to Shavasana. Keep your eyes closed throughout now till the end. I'm going to take your awareness to each body part one by one. And you try to relax that part completely. Okay, so with your closed eyes, without moving that part, you just have to take your attention, your mind, your focus to that part and relax it completely. Every time your mind wanders, you can just simply bring it back on my voice. Bring your awareness onto your toes, heels, and ankles relaxed. Shin, calf, knees, thighs, hips, your legs relaxed. Abdomen, chest relaxed. Lower back, middle back, upper back relaxed. Arms, shoulders, neck relaxed. Back of the head, top of the head, forehead relaxed. Facial muscles relaxed. From tip of the toes to the top of your head, the whole body is relaxed. The whole body is relaxed. I'm going deeper and deeper into my relaxation. I'm going deeper and deeper into my relaxation. I am relaxing my body, relaxing my breath, relaxing my mind. Relax, relax, relax. Very gently wake up your body. Do not hurry up yet. Keep lying down. Wiggle your toes and your fingers first, slowly. You can still keep your eyes closed. You can move your fingers, your toes. Now you can bring your legs together. And now bring your arms up above over your head. Give a nice long evening or morning or wherever you are right now, whatever time it is. Just give a nice refreshing stretch. You can lock your hands together. Release all the tiredness out. Breathe in, stretch. And exhaling, release, relax. Now turn to your right side. Slowly make a pillow with your right arm and stay here for next few seconds. Let's read the benefits of our practice by systematically turning to the side, which will help us in more calming and relaxing. Now with the support of your left palm in front of your chest, slowly you can come up to a seated position. Just chant 3 rounds of Omkar. Again. Sit comfortably. Prana Mudra with your hands. Let's chant 3 rounds together. Take a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Again, rubbing your palms together. Nicely bring the warmth of your palms on your face. Opening your eyes inside the palms and bring your hands in Namaste. Let us surrender today's yoga practice to the Supreme Lord. Let us express our gratitude to all those people who have helped us in our lives at some point. Let's pray for the well-being, safety, and good health of ourselves, our families, and all around us in the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy. Thank you very much for your enthusiastic participation. Before anyone has any question, I want to just speak for 1 minute more. So just to give you an idea that what are we going to do quickly, what are the different aspects of yoga that we are going to do in our upcoming days. So we are not just going to focus on asana and pranayam. Of course, that will be the main component of our classrooms always. However, I'm going to also cover up some of the nature cure therapies that will bring about more positivity, healing, and emotional health in your life. So we're going to do all of those things. We're going to speak about diet, one of the favorite subject of ladies and ever confusing, and always you have thousands of questions on diet. So definitely we're going to also speak on that. Whatever I have learned from my teachers, whatever I follow and whatever has helped me, I'm definitely going to share that, some wonderful recipes, how to organize your kitchen for more healthy lifestyle, then what are some nature cure therapies, etc., and yoga lifestyle tips, along with a proper intense practice. Don't think that the class is going to be so mild every time. As we grow, we're going to kind of course, in a safety zone, we're going to pep up every time with each day. So apart from asana, pranayam, healthy lifestyle tips, diet, recipes, nature cure, support groups, we're going to share things, how we feel. I'm going to throw some challenges on you about some fasting sometimes. So all these things are going to be coming up in our workshop. Now, I'm very happy to take up if there is any question. You can also post it on the WhatsApp later on. You can get in touch with Priya Chaitanya Prabhu, etc. I'm reading few of the appreciation. That means a lot to me, and I thank you for the kind words from some of you who find this class very relaxing today. Thank you. So I welcome all of you. If you haven't signed up for the Women Wellness yet, please go ahead and invest your time in that, and it will be really nice. So what about alternate nostril breathing? Yes, we are going to do it, and we are going to do it a lot. And I'm going to tell you the proper number of rounds you should be doing for everything, and how many times, how much you should breathe in. So all of these things are going to cover. Yeah. So yes, we're going to share the link in the WhatsApp group. It's also there. Yes, so Ranita ji, regarding insomnia, in the last module, we have kept special sessions on yoga therapy, where I'll be collecting all the information from each one of you regarding your health background. And then on the personal level, on the group level, we will be discussing the particular sequence, not just yoga, but other different things you can do to heal yourself through natural ways, through insomnia, whatever, migraine, hormonal issues, PCOD. So we're going to cover all these things in our upcoming sessions. The thing is, we don't jump into therapy directly, because the asanas that are good for you, you are not flexible enough to do that right now. This is the main problem people face with yoga therapy. So that's why we have kept yoga therapy module at the end, so that by the time your body is super ready, you know so many asanas, you feel more confident in your daily life, and then we're going to just do it. Okay. Are you, if I'm seeing some numbers here, if you are a part of our groups, then I have noted down Mittal's number and everybody's number. So if you are part of any WhatsApp groups, Telegram, Govardhan School of Yoga Facebook, just write down there and we'll get back to you about your signing up. If all the numbers are very confusing for you, then we have a website. You can note it down: ecovillage.org.in. It has all the details of this course and the link to sign up. Okay. If you're part of any group, I'm sure you will be getting it. Yes, for the participants who sign up for the workshop, the recording will be available, considering that sometimes you might miss the class if you have some any other priority, or if your time zone doesn't match to daily. So I also read about somebody having English issues. So I'll check with the group. If everybody is comfortable, we can nicely combine English also. We can do English together. Doesn't matter. I'm used to doing that by default sometimes. Yeah. So can all of you can check for more details. I think the timings are 5 to 6 only. Yeah, 5 to 6 will be the timing for all this weekend. It's only on the weekends. So weekdays you will have your self practice, and I'll be throwing some challenges to you which you have to follow Saturday, Sunday. Okay. So anybody has any question that I haven't addressed, you can ask, or maybe you can also put it on the group. We have Priya Chaitanya Prabhu actively helping you all with the queries and registration. So if you're part of any group, you can just, okay. So Sunandaji, I didn't get the statement, but that's okay. It's not a question about the class, right? Okay, then I'm hoping to see, yeah, Mitasha, there are 10 workshops. Yeah, Ranita, thank you so much for that. Okay, Ranita has done a fantastic job. So all of you can paste that link on the phone, and then you can sign it up. I have noted few numbers that I got on the screen while you were in Shavasana. So I have noted down, you'll get the link. So thank you so much for your enthusiastic participation today. I'm hoping most of you to see in the full-time workshops that you can learn things more in a systematic way. This was just a small sample. I just got a nice question, which I always get actually. I'm going to address it. Just a minute. So from devotees, mostly I get this question. We all struggle here. How to do yoga in the morning while doing sadhana like japa and household courses. So the best time to do yoga also is also mentioned in the morning times. So what many devotees do is, whom I'm in touch with, is they do some, if they feel very sleepy or tired through their japa and household work in the mornings and noons, they try to do few rounds of Surya Namaskar or some warming up practice and little bit of breath work pranayam in the morning time. That does not take more than 12 to 15 minutes. Yeah, you heard me right. That's it. And I'm sure that much time is manageable to squeeze in somewhere. I know it's super busy, but still a short practice is practical. And evening time is also said to be another alternative for those who can't make it in the morning. So sometimes you can have a longer practice than in the evening. Mornings can be just your pranayam or Surya Namaskar to keep yourself energized throughout the day. Then working on your therapeutic asanas and stretching and flexibility, etc. You can do that. Okay. So that's about it. And balancing is the key. I know it's not easy, but if you really consider your health as a priority, somehow or the other, you will squeeze in some 20 minutes even in the morning, and short practice you can do. And I will also be speaking in workshops about sequencing part. Okay, sometimes what happens, we learn a lot. Then we are back to square. That, okay, how do I do this in my daily life? I learned so much, but we're not going to leave you like that. We will be giving you in writing. You have to write it down. I will make sure that you write your sequence that you have to follow for how much time. You're going to write that sequence down so that you have something take home when you are done with this workshop. It's not just learning some different techniques and feeling nice just for time being. I want you all to continue with the practice. That's the goal of this workshop. So thank you so much. I look forward. Most of you who already signed up, I know that, but for those who have not signed up, do consider it and see if you can also join for this workshop and finish it fully. Okay, so I'll sign off now, everyone here. And thank you so much for your enthusiastic participation. Thank you for your wonderful words. Thank you, Ria, for being there. I hope to see you again tomorrow with more action. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much.